Let's just talk about what's happening in the market. Lot of activity, a lot of volatility happening in the marketplace over the, thanks, Brent, over the last couple of days, really over the last few hours, even Bitcoin hitting all-time lows. We are seeing some amazing things on our side as it pertains to EasyBot. So Mohamed, if you're in a position, I'm going to invite you to come on in. Hey, Mohamed, are you available?
Hello, hi, David.
All right.
Yes.
Hey there.
Yeah, thank you, David. Okay, guys. So, yeah, we have all seen the market in the past couple of days. Today specifically, it's been really dropping, which is normal in crypto market. If you have been in crypto market for quite long, maybe you have seen some similar drops, or maybe a little bit. Last year, actually, we have seen similar drop happening when the Bitcoin dropped from 64,000 to 28,000. It's not as low as 22, which is happening right now, but it's the same concept. The market is moving down, and all the other coins are following the Bitcoins and going down. And eventually it's going to come up, but no one knows when and how fast it's going to be going up. But all we can do from our side is to react to the market movement. I mean, the market can move the way it wants, but the only thing we can do is to serve that wave. Whether it goes down, we go down, it goes up, we go up, and keep on adjusting and keep on modifying things. And I'm happy that this market drop happened now. So we are still at the beginning of our journey, and that gives us more insights to think even in a different way, to look at what can we do differently in order to sustain with this kind of drops. And I've already figured out an enhancement to the strategy that we're working with right now. It's working well, but the enhancement is going to even make it work better and better, and even be sustainable even for a drop market of more than 85 to 90%, because now we're experiencing this. We're experiencing market drops of, I don't know, in some coins, maybe 80% or 70 plus in some other coins. So if it happened now, it's possible that it happened in the future as well. So right now, for the people who are trading and people who have already reached to cover 50, I know that a couple of people have already reached to cover 50, which is the last one in the default strategy. What we're going to do is to add more covers, or to allow manual covers adding in the default strategy. Let me share screen here and show you just some of the examples. Yes, here you go. Okay, so this is an account. For instance, when you go inside the settings, this is the default setting strategy. Yeah, no, it's not the default. Let's look at one which is being done on default. I think this one. Let's check. Yeah, this is a default strategy. If you are using the default strategy, you'll see that it ends with cover 50. And some of the people, due to this huge market drop, have reached to cover 50. So what we're going to do in the coming couple of days is allow people to add more covers, even to the default strategy. So what you could do is add more covers here, like 10 or 20 cover, whatever you feel comfortable with, and then increase your capital here. If whatever funds that you can add from outside, whether it's $100, $200 USDT, 300, or whatever it is, you add it here, so that your balance will become positive, and add more covers. And the times, I would suggest make it as a percentage of whatever amount you added. For example, if you added $200 and your initial price, your initial cover here becomes to 40, and you want the cover down to become 10, so it's 0.25% of the initial cover. So it's sustained for another 10 or 20 covers. So this is one of the modifications that we're going to do. On top of this, that we are also going to enhance the default strategy. Let me just put that in the whiteboard and just show you how exactly the enhancement is going to work. Okay, so this is the price, and here's the time. Okay, right now how it works is that we have cover 1 is at the price of -2% when the market drops to -2%. And then the next cover is at -5%, which is -5 from the previous cover. That means we have a gap here of 5%. This is -5. 5%. And then the third cover is at -8%. So this is -8 of the previous cover. That means we have a gap here of -8%. Okay, I'll take it step by step on how the improvement is going to be. Right now, I've seen many people having a concern that when the bot comes to cover 2 or cover 3, it stops for a while. It doesn't make any trades, maybe for a day or 2. And that's due to this gap, or I call it dead zone here between cover 5 and cover 2 and cover 3 and cover cover 3 and cover 4 and cover 2 and cover 3. So we have here 5% difference because the -5% is from the previous cover. So we have a gap of this much. Let me just make it in. Yes. So this gap here is basically 5% or -5%. And the other gap down here between cover 3 and cover 2 and cover 3 is 8% because the 8% is dropped from the last cover. So here this is -8%. So what happens is that sometimes when the market drops down, it's easy to drop -2. So it takes this cover, the cover 1 is taken, and then the market goes down a bit and it stays here maybe for a couple of days, stays in this zone, in this 5% zone between cover 2 and cover 3. So nothing happens because it's not in a position to buy the new cover and it's not in a position to sell the earlier cover because it's not in a profit position. It fluctuates here for some time, and then at the moment it hit this one, then it takes the cover 2, which is at -5%, and then the market goes down again, and here we have a bigger gap. We have 8% gap. So it's more likely that the market will stay here for some time, sometimes a couple of days, and maybe even sometimes a week. And as long as it's in this zone, there is no covers, so it's not going to take any trades, not going to close any trade because it's not in a position to buy a new cover in this place, and it's not in a position to sell the upper covers because it's not in profit yet. So it will remain silent for a couple of days, and then when it comes down here, it's going to take this cover. So how are we going to handle this and enhance the performance of the bot into this term? We're going to add independent covers in these areas. Let me just show you in a visual way. So yeah, we're adding here -2 is fine, and but here we have 5% difference. So we're going to add 2 more independent covers here into this dead zone. And 3 independent covers in this bigger dead zone because the area is bigger, so we're adding more covers. So it's going to be looking like this. Now on those, if we had those independent covers available during this kind of market movement, you will see more movement. You will see more buys and sells. If the market stays here for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, still is going to buy, sell into those small covers because the difference between each one and the other is just as low as 2% or even lower than 2%. Likewise here, if it stays between cover 1 and cover 2 for quite a long time, it's going to still buy on those independent covers, buy and sell and buy and sell. And in this area, the bot is going to take 100% of the profit. So 100% of the profit is taken as profit, not 50% like the other independent covers down, because this is a safe zone. Still, it did not go lower too much. So we're worried about that to bring the average price down. So we're going to consider 100% of the profit in these covers. And in these covers here as well, between cover 2 and cover 3, we're going to take also 100% of the profit. So people will start seeing more profit coming into their EasyBot, or more profit shown in their EasyBot accounts. Going down here, what you're noticing at the moment, once the bot comes into the independent cover zone, it starts moving faster. You will see more of trades happening on a daily basis because the difference between each cover and the other here is just as low as 1% to 2%. So let's just make a small drawing here. So I'm going to make all the independent covers in green. So here, as you know, the independent covers are very close to each other's, and that covers up to cover 35. And all of this area here is going to be covering almost 50% from the top up to end of the zone 2. This is minus 51% approximately. This is the minimum. but it can go up to 60 and 70%, as we have seen in the past. If the market drops dramatically in a short period of time, it's not going to take any trades until it starts being stable again. So in this area here, this is what we have at the moment, but as an enhancement, we're adding those independent covers to enhance the top side of the coverage. I'm calling this now 2 zones. This is here zone 1. Let me just highlight one more time. This here from here to here, where it takes the average prices. The cover 2 and cover 3 still take the average price. So if it fluctuates here, it's going to buy, sell, buy, sell. The moment it hit cover at minus 5%, is going to take everything on the top as average price. And then the market goes down, independent, until it's reached to minus 8%. And then the moment it hit this one here, is going to take everything on the top as average price. So we will have an average price landing here. Just let me draw this in a different color. Yeah, so our independent cover is going, our average price is going to be somewhere here for all of these trades on top once all of these trades have been taken place. And then it gets into the independent zone. Independent zone is each cover will be independent, will buy and sell, just the way it does at the moment. In this zone, zone 2, let me go back to zone 1. I'm calling this here zone 1, where it has the average price, 1. And here we have zone 2. Zone 2 is all the independent covers that we know at the moment, is from the last average price cover until it covers up to 51% of the market. That 35 covers down. In this independent zone, as we know, or as most of us knows, it takes 50% of the profit and bring down the average price. So 50% of the profit is taken as profit, and the other 50% bring down the average price. As I've explained in earlier videos, that 50% of whatever profits happens here is considered as immediate profit. 50% is to bring this average price down. So this average price will keep on moving down as we are into this zone. Now, what else have we added? We have added zone 3. Zone 3 is a critical zone, and it's optional for whoever wants to get into that because it depends on the budget that you have still left into your exchange. So let me just separate between those zones and make it in a different color. Okay, so this is zone 3. Zone 3 is going to be all independent covers, also close to each other as low as 1 to 2%, and it has about 20 covers. 20 covers down, and that covers around 35% of the market, 35 to 40% of the market. So that goes down, down and down until 20 covers in this area. So the coverage of this zone is about 35%. We just put here 35% drop of the market. So if we add all 3 zones together, that's close to 90% drop of the market. So we have here 51% or 52%, add the 35%, that's about 85 or 86%. Actually, if we go more accurately, it's about 90%. I've made the calculation in a different sheet. It goes up to 90%, even more. Because imagine if some of those covers have been pushed down because of the market drop, is going to push everything down, and it's going to go beyond the 86%, up to 90% and more. In this area, we're going to have it in a separate budget. Like you have, let's say you started on the top here with, let's say $5,000. So definitely the $5,000 is going to be consumed as soon as you come down here to cover 35, or after you cover this ones, after you cover all of this zone 1 and zone 2, which is a 51%, like what's happening at the moment. This area here, it depends on how much you have at the moment. We're not going to link it to this budget because it's completely different budget. It depends on how much you have, because you could have started maybe with $10,000, but right now you have only $1,000 left that you could add to the trade. It should not be mixed up with this one. So we have a different budget here for this one. Let's say it's as low as $200 that you could add here. And still this $200 could go 10 or 20 covers. 20 covers. All the covers will be covered, but the value of each cover is going to be 10% of the new assigned capital here. Each cover is going to be equal to each other. The difference between them is going to be as low as 1 to 2%. Still, we're yet to define that 100%. So here is going to be 10% of the new budget. So literally what happens is that, let's say you started with 5,000, market went down, you have been making small profits here and there and bringing that average price down. And then you have consumed all the 35 covers on the top and you want to get into zone 2. So here a new budget will open for you. So you put a new balance. How much do you want to add to this one? Let's say 200, then each cover will be as low as $10 or 10 USDTs. And if you add more like 2,000, each cover will be like, sorry, like $100 or $200 and going on. And the more you add here, the faster you can bring down the average price. Because guess what? Here we said 50% goes to the profit and 50% goes to bring down the average price. Here in this zone here, because it's very critical and the market is really down, we're going to split in a different way. It's going to be 10% as profit and 90% to bring down the average price so that it can move faster. Because the budget here is small, so we're using bigger amount of the profit that's being made here to bring down this average price faster and close the whole cycle, because the market is already in a bad situation. So the market is going to, this average price is going to be moving really fast, depending definitely on the budget that you're using. The higher the budget that you're using, the faster this average price can move down. And I'm sure that this is going to be really saving a lot of people for any kind of drops like what's been happening at the moment. This modification is going to also solve the problem of people having a dead zone on the top side here, where the market can stay between this 5% or this 8% for a couple of days where we don't see any trades. So these independent covers are going to help generating some profit. Any questions?
Hey, Mohamed, can you talk a little bit about just kind of what's happening in the market right now and what a user might want to consider doing? Let's say I think we've had a couple of users that said they've already hit their 50th cover. What options should they explore at this point to take advantage of what's going on in the market?
Yeah, I've just already mentioned about that. What we will do in the coming couple of days is allowing people to add more covers. Let me just share one more time. Share screen. Yeah, here you go. Let's say, for instance, this one. This is taking if you're using your own strategy, you're not using the default, you still have it open here. You can add more covers. But we're talking now about the people who are using the default strategy. They can just come here. We will allow this to open in a couple of days. So you can just click and add more covers and add to the budget on the top until we completely program the 3 phases of the strategy that what I explained just now. So now just wait for a couple of days. We will announce once this is open, you can add more covers and add more funds here, because when the market goes down, it will be more volatile. And that's the time where it's going to generate more profit and bring that average price down faster.
Got it. Steve, you got your hand up. Come on in, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, and I'm not sure I follow all that. That's pretty mathy stuff. It's really cool. But are we moving in a direction where people can maybe get started with less than 600 per coin? Is that anywhere in the strategic roadmap, or maybe some of these changes will allow people to get in at a lower starting point?
Okay, let me explain that part one more time. That's I'm talking about the zone 2 here. When I said about $200, I'm talking about the zone 3, sorry, the one on the bottom of the market, where we're adding additional budget for only this area. But on the top, it remains still the same 600 for minimum for Binance. That's because of the Binance limitation. The minimum order is $10. But for KuCoin, I think in the near future, we allow people to use as low as 300, because also of KuCoin is allowing people to trade with lesser amount, as low as $5 or lesser in some coins.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Mohammed Kabir, come on in, sir.
Yeah, I think these are really exciting changes, and I'm really excited about it. I have a quick question. I noticed that the compounding feature doesn't work on any of my bots. So I mean, I know that in order to lower the average, the compounding feature has to work, right? So is there any update on that when that could be fixed?
Okay. First of all, it's not that the compounding have to work to bring down the average price. The average price will go down anyway using the profit that happens. But yes, we're aware that some of the bots are having an issue with the compounding effect. It's not happening in some bots. We're working on that. So in 2 days maximum, it should be resolved.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, Raymond, you're up next. Come on in, sir.
Yes, I was just wondering, is this zone 2 or zone 3, whatever you call them, are those optional? You got to opt into them, or are you automatically changing the default to do that?
Okay, about the dead zones here, I mean, the independent covers that we're adding here, sorry, is going to be part of the strategy. So you don't have to do anything. It's going to be built in for you for the default settings. Okay. And you don't have to do anything. And zone 2 is already there. Now we're experiencing it's working for most of the people, but zone 3 is going to be the one optional, because we don't know how much money you still have left that you could use in the lower market and use that funds to bring down the average price. There's going to be a separate budget here that you can add. Still, we're working with the programmers to see how we can separate this budget from this budget, because this is having different percentages, 10% of the capital that you can use. There will be also a lower amount, maybe 200 or lower, I'm not sure. We still have to discuss that with details with the developers to see how we can get it done. But this is the optional one. I mean, it will appear to you as soon as you hit the last cover in these 2 zones. Okay.
Just wanted to make sure. And you just, like, when you talked about doing adding the 200 and you got, $1,021 up there, you need to change that to $1,221. Is that what you do to make the change?
You mean for the current situation? Yes, you have to change that one. But in the future, for this, once we have this being implemented, you don't have to touch this. Just keep it the same. You will have a different budget for the lower market.
Okay.
Okay, just to make it also easier for the people, because I know now it's a bit difficult when you add to the top and then it still shows you negative, then you have to keep on adding and adjust the initial trade and all. It's a bit of a headache, but that's why you want to separate those 2 together. So the initial, how it's going to be working after we implement this is that you put your budget at the top, and we advise people always to have maybe let's say an emergency funds aside, maybe 10%, 20%, whatever you feel comfortable with. Keep it aside just in case this happens and the market really drops down the same way it's happening at the moment. So you can at least do something while the market is down. Use that funds to work for you and to help this whole trade to close faster.
And when is this going to be available?
Well, I said 2 weeks in the previous call, but David says no.
We're at least 30 days out before you see this implemented.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right, Brock, come on in, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mohammed. I apologize if I missed you saying this. I was just trying to deal with, my mom was kicked out of the meeting. We can't get her back in, so just trying to deal with that. But with the $200, how's the conversation go? If they don't add the $200, are they just really waiting for the market to get back above that average price, and it will happen at some point? So like we can kind of say to somebody, hey, you got 2 options right now. Either you wait for the market to rebound, or if you add in $200, we might be able to get you some more profits along the way and get you a little sooner. Is that how that would go?
Exactly. It's going to be exactly this way. So if you have only the 5,000 for this example, for instance, and you don't have anything else, and the market already hit all the covers and it took all the 5,000 and put it into the coin, then you have one of the 2 solutions. If you get into zone 3, that we're given as an optional, and we're putting a different budget here to just because it depends on you. How much do you have at the moment? Maybe you don't have anything. Maybe you have 200. Maybe you have 2,000. The higher the amount you put in this zone, the faster it's going to close the trade without the market having to come back up again. Because see here, it's used 90% of the profit to bring down the average price into this zone, so that will bring it down faster. And if you don't have any budget to be added here, then you just have to wait for the market. Let me just draw the market here. If it goes down all the way here, you don't have funds, you have to wait for this until the market starts getting into this zone again. And then it's going to buy and sell and continue the same cycle.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Rock. Next up is Hope. Hey, Hope.
Hey, David. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mohamed, for all that you're doing for us. I have a quick question. Can you explain how the single strategy works when you change it from cycle to single? At what point does it stop buying? And what should we do next? Thank you.
Very good. No problem. That's a very, very easy one. This is a cycle. What we're explaining here is cycle. The cycle will end as soon as it closes this average price. So when you put it in single, as soon as this average price is closed, it's not going to buy anymore into this coin. It's going to put the money for you back into USDT, and you decide what you want to do next, whether you want to put this money into a different coin or start a different coin or restart this coin one more time. So that would be a cycle again, or again, you're going to trade the same coin. This brings me to another point, important point. If you want to withdraw any of your profits, the first thing to do is to put your bots in single. And once it close a cycle or close any coin, let's say you have 10 coins, and in each coin you're putting 1,000, and you put all of them in single. So one of them have closed the cycle. That means you have now 1,000 free for you. 1,000 plus the profit that that coin have made for you is free for you to take out, withdraw, or to do whatever you want to do with it. If all of them close, then you have all the 10,000 back again, plus all the profit that was made during these cycles.
Right. Thank you. Next up is Coach Fear. Coach Fear, come on in.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. Again, thanks for the information. Mohamed, really excited about the new additions to come. I heard David mention about 30 days or so. That's good. What I'm curious about though, for the average person who most of what would have been explained today, a couple people messaged me like, I have no clue what I'm listening to, but you know, I know it's something good. So for the average person who doesn't understand about, you know, adding manual covers and going in and, you know, making those adjustments, just a curious question, being that the bot has the permission to see what is actually in the account, the trading, the wallet, as it were, is it any scenario where there might be an optional button that a person can click to say, you know, I authorize that in the event that these 50 covers are reached, go ahead and, you know, go into the other extra covers, because the truth is most persons, one, they're not going to be, they may not see it when it happens, right? Mm-hmm. Being how the market works, they may not be aware when those 50 covers are hit. I mean, I don't check my account every single day even to see, you know, what cover is at. I hardly even check the account. I just let it do what it's doing because I'm looking long term. But that's me. For the average person who doesn't understand any of this jargon or understand anything about going in and adjusting and adding this amount, doing this and doing that, will there or is there a possibility of having something that they can just opt to have that triggered if that particular scenario does come about? Yeah, that's a question.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that question because I've been thinking about that also, of whether we should make this optional or we just make it also available for the people who just want to set it and forget it, like yourself. Right. So yeah, this is something that we would add, but I'm not sure that we're going to have it right up front as soon as we get this new implementation done or right after that. But yes, this is definitely something that we're looking at. But in this case, what you need to do as a user is to make sure that you have enough funds in your exchange. Like for this example, let's say on the top part, you have put 5,000 as budget, then you have to put 200 here. So then you need to have total of 5,200 in your exchange. so that we cover the whole cycle, zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. And
Perhaps
also
that could be put in as well, it prompted, so that a person knows that, so that, a message perhaps could pop up and say, it's suggested that you add X amount extra, if you enable this particular feature, it's recommended to add X amount, so that they know, because leaving it to persons to try to figure that out, a lot of persons I don't think will, right? But if it's suggested, it pops up that they can see it. Okay, you've enabled, I want this to happen if this criteria is met, and then they can say, okay, the system told me I should have X amount to be covered. I think that would help a lot.
Thank you for this. Yeah, we'll look at that and we'll try to make it, because our slogan is to make things easy, so we want to make everything easy to the people, and we will go that direction for sure, and make sure it's as easy as possible for the average person, who doesn't understand all this.
Definitely. Much appreciated for your time, man. Blessings.
No problem. Thank you.
Real quick before Arlene's next, I just want to add a little bit to that, and that is that what we're talking about today is, I want those of you who are on the call and those of you who are listening to the recording to understand and appreciate the conversation that you're having is kind of a, behind the scenes. Mohamed's pulling the curtains and allowing you to see some of what's coming, and the reason that's important is that you understand and appreciate that EasyBot's an amazing tool, and it's constantly getting iterated. Mohamed's constantly thinking of ways to bring improvement so that you have an even better experience. And so that's something that you have to look forward to. And part of the reason why it takes a little bit of time to implement is because the question you asked, Coach Fear, is very important. It's, how do we implement the user experience? So there's the technology of it, and then there's the user experience. And of course, getting the user experience right is important to us because we want to make sure that it's easy. But the conversation we're having today is certainly going to be appealing to those who are more advanced traders. And then those of you guys who have no idea, and this really does feel like we appreciate that. What we want you to take away from this part of the discussion is simply that EasyBot's getting better on your behalf. And you may not understand all the technicals and how, why, and what, but just know that you've got a team that's working to improve the technology for you. All right, Arlene, you're up next. Come on in.
Hi there, guys. All right, well, thank you. I'm so glad I hopped on this call. It's answering a lot of questions I had as I started seeing the market plummet. But I'm glad you guys are ahead of this thing and doing what needs to happen in order to make sure we continue to profit. My main question was today, one of my bots stopped trading, actually several of them, and it said in red that there were insufficient funds and I need to add more, but I didn't know, just like the last gentleman said, I didn't know how much to add and whether to add it to my exchange and bump my balance in the actual bot, or just add it to the exchange and let it catch up. And then my second question was, I'm not at the top covers, so as soon as I add it, I'm afraid it'll eat that part up, trying to do all the covers again. And should I just wait for the market to settle a little bit before I add 100, 200, 300, trying to cover all these inactive bots that I have?
Okay, that's a good question. So probably that, first of all, let me ask you something. At which cover are you at the moment on those bots which have stopped trading? Are they already at 5 or?
Some are at 5. There's one that's at cover 13, one that's at 14.
Wow, that means you're overusing your funds. It's clear to me that you're overusing your funds. So what I assume is happening in your bot is that you have assigned money to the bots which you don't have in your exchange. You have assigned, or in different words, you have assigned to the bots more than what you have in the exchange. Let's say, I'm just putting an example here. Let's say you have 5,000 in your exchange and you have 10 bots, each one you're making 1,000. So in this case, you are assigning 10,000 to the bots, but you're actually having only 5,000. So that's why the bot's not going to even sustain up to cover maybe 13, 14, or 15, because it needs at least to have the equivalent amount of USDT in your exchange so that it can cover the zone 1 and zone 2 up to cover 35.
Okay.
So yeah, I think your start wasn't the correct one. You started at a point where you're assigning more funds, you're overusing your funds, you're assigning more money to the bots than what you have in your exchange. So the advice to you is to look at, let me just do the exercise with you right now. What you need to do is to put things right, but right is go into each bot inside, okay? You come here, let's say, for example, this one, the unit is stopped. But you have to go to all of them, not only the ones which are stopped, and look at the balance here.
Okay.
Add them up, add all of them up to all the bots that you have. And this is the amount of USDT that you should be having right now in your exchange, which you don't have. To put things right, you add that amount to your exchange and reactivate the bots.
Okay. All right. And then on the timing of things, I get that. But on the timing of things, do I wait for the market to recover, or do I leave a few inactive until the bot I want to recover starts back recovering? I mean, what is a good strategy?
It depends on your budget. If you tell me that you add all the funds and you found out that you are missing, let's say 5,000, and you have 4,000, I would tell you restart all the bots, but if the market goes down, it's not going to sustain. It's going to again stop. It's going to eat all of the USDT to buy covers if the market goes down. But if the market goes up and recover, then it's going to buy, sell, and recover also all the trades that which are open. It's going to close them. When to start? At what point of time? I'll ask a question here. Do you know where the market is going tomorrow? The answer is no. Yeah. I don't know either. I don't think anyone here knows. So we better just put the bot into work and put enough budget and keep aside outside a small amount just in case if the market goes lower than 35 cover so that it can still keep on working.
All right. That makes sense. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.